Tonight, bombshell new information in the April Millsap murder case. The 7 Action News investigators uncovering the connection between the person of interest in the murder probe and the village of Armada.
The exclusive details shed major light in just who this person is. Investigator Jonathan Carlson is here now with what he uncovered about this guy. Jonathan.
Well, the big question that's been unanswered until now, what ties did James VanCallis Jr. have to Armada? Well, the investigators found a lot. Here's the highlights. He grew up in Armada, near where April's body was found. He went to Armada schools, and we've learned exclusively his 14-year-old son went to Armada Middle School and was classmates with victim April Millsap. It was like any other July day in the small village of Armada when April Millsap took dog Penny out for her daily walk. The Macomb Orchard Trail, a familiar and nearby trek. But the investigators, learning exclusively the only person of interest in April's murder, likely knew the trail all too well himself.
He is a person of interest in our investigation in Armada. We are looking at him.
In family photos, James Donald VanCallis Jr. looks like any other 32-year-old, a doting father, a loving son and brother. But the investigators have found he has a troubled past. Tuesday, he appeared in an orange prison suit, facing drug charges stemming from a past raid at his family's Goodall's home. But police weren't there looking for drugs, nor when they stormed the home a second time this past Monday.
If we didn't have a good search warrant, a judge wouldn't sign it, we wouldn't be there.
VanCallis Jr.'s lawyer says he has nothing to do with the teen's murder.
He's a wonderful person.
But wonderful is far from how those who knew VanCallis Jr. growing up describe him. The investigators spoke with multiple people who knew VanCallis Jr. as a child to adulthood. And for the first time, we're uncovering his startling ties to the place where April Millsap lived and died. We've learned VanCallis Jr. grew up in Armada, on a farm not far from the jogging trail where April's body was found. He attended Armada area schools from kindergarten through 10th grade, eerily, even going to the same middle school April attended, although years earlier. His last stop, Armada Area High School. Sources tell the investigators VanCallis was a troubled student. In 2 years here at the high school, he only accumulated 3 credits, and he spent most of his time suspended. Sources say he eventually dropped out. Things didn't appear to get better for VanCallis Jr. In 2005 and 2006, he was charged with failing to pay child support and breaking and entering. His current relationship status is a question mark. We know he was living with his father at the Goodall's home when arrested. But his ties and trips to Armada, a 25-minute drive away, apparently hadn't stopped. Timestamped pictures uncovered by the investigators show he was in or near Armada in recent months. His familiarity and ties to April's hometown is no doubt troubling to investigators, but key in their investigation. Police say VanCallis Jr. has not been cooperating with investigators, something his lawyer denies. Police also want to know what others living in that home know, if anything. When we tried to ask them, "Do you guys know anything about the Millsap case?"
No comment.
They weren't willing to talk. The investigators, like police, have staked out the Goodall's home for weeks, catching James VanCallis Sr. coming to the end of the driveway one day.
Hey, James, can we talk to you for a second?
The family refusing comment then, too. As for the searches at the home, the investigators have learned one of the key pieces of evidence police and the FBI have been looking for: boots and shoes that may match footprints found on April's body. We've also learned, days after April's death, FBI agents searched a nearby landfill, going through what is believed to be trash from the VanCallis' home. Evidence was collected, but more is needed, sources say, to close the case. Meanwhile, April Millsap's mother tells Action News she's been kept in the dark about what has been found and just how close police are to really solving her daughter's murder.
I just want to know why. I want to know who, and I want to know why.
Again, James VanCallis Jr. is simply a person of interest in the case. No one has been charged in the Millsap murder. However, we've learned prosecutors have been meeting today about the case. The command center in Armada has been virtually shuttered, and I'm told police are at the point where they have nothing more to say until an announcement is made, guys.
Did police ever have this information that you have just told us early, or why was he a person of interest in the first place? Do we know?
They're not releasing that information. This is information that we've gotten from high-level sources close to the investigation as we've been trying to piece all of this together, but a big story unraveling here, and we should expect this to come to a head in the next couple of days.
And the same pathway they've taken, but quite an age difference between the two. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. Great work.
Thank you. Hey, Jonathan, we'll bring you any new information, of course, in the April Millsap murder investigation just as soon as it happens right here on Action News and, of course, anytime online at WXYZ.com.